It's that time of the week again. It's Friday night, 8:30, and sadly, the final countdown to the last and penultimate LA Cinema Film Quiz. So it's Friday, July the 24th, and it's action time. Good evening, all. Hope you're well. Nice to see you all. Friday night once again, and it's that time of the week. The LA Cinema Quiz, running for the 18th week, and sadly, all good things have to come to an end eventually. I'll be speaking a bit more about that towards the end of the quiz. As I said, during the government lockdown, we've been doing this every week, firstly on our Facebook page and then on this YouTube channel. So thank you all for everybody that supported the channel, everybody that's subscribed and taken part over the last few weeks. I say few weeks, it's been the last few months. I wanted to start with making just a quick apology. Last week, there was a little bit of confusion. I put my hands up, I was guilty. My mistake, I said that the quiz would be running on a Thursday instead. Made some slight changes, and we've decided that for the time being, this is going to be the last quiz during the lockdown, and I'll be talking a little bit later about what we might do in the future, and just to get some of your opinions. So we've got quite a few people logged in. Thank you kindly. Good to see you all. We've got the chat window, the live chat window. So a few shout outs, and beg my pardon, I've picked up a slight summer cold. And I feel a little bit of the enemy of the state, admitting to having a little bit of a cold and a husky voice. So I do apologise. Hopefully I won't pass on anything down my computer screen. So good evening to the Richards, Emma and Ian. Thanks a lot. Good to see you. Mr. Baseheart, who's been very prolific with his cinema knowledge over the last couple of weeks. And Shan Natman, hello to you. I hope you're keeping well. Hope you've had a good week. Okay, so let me tell you the topics for this evening. It's the usual format. It's 5 rounds consisting of 10 questions per round. I'll repeat the questions as I go along. And the 5 cinema rounds are as follows. Okay, so round number 1 is Kiefer Sutherland. We had a recommendation a week or so ago, somebody asking us put a round on the actor, an all-round talented guy, Kiefer Sutherland. So round 1 is on him, the actor, the American actor. Number 2, slightly different, quite interesting, movie villains. 3, one of my favorite genres, sadly not as popular as it was years and years ago. It's the Western genre. Number 4, the popular actor, Hollywood actor, a big icon, Tom Cruise. And I'll be talking a bit about Tom Cruise later and asking your opinions on the Hollywood star and his upcoming film, the sequel to Top Gun Maverick, which has been pushed back for release next year. And the final round, round number 5, where we finish up the quiz, will be leading ladies. So it'll be all American actresses famous in Hollywood. You just need to tell me the name of the actress from the description. So a couple of people we've got logged on, a few more additions. We've got Bikey Chick, who's taken part for a couple of weeks. Good evening. Kieran Ray, another familiar name and face. And another familiar person, Rob Delaney, saying, hello, James. Sorry, missed last week. No problem, I'll forgive you. And Kieran Nicholson, lastly. Okay, so normally I have a few recommendations of films I've watched during the week, and I put my hands up. I've been bad. I haven't watched any films this week. I've been suffering from a little bit of a summer cold. The kids haven't been going to bed till about 9 o'clock. So it kind of leaves a little time late on an evening to watch a film for 2 hours. But needless to say, there have been a couple of purchases. I'm always buying Blu-rays, DVDs, streaming films. I've started to sell some, so you might notice my top shelf It's got a few spaces. I've been trying to have a little bit of a clear out, but I had to buy a couple just to annoy the wife for this week. So my purchases, I've never seen the Neil Jordan film, The Company of Wolves. We did a round last week that people struggled on Canon Films, the company in the late 70s and 80s that produced mainly action films from that decade. This is probably one of the best films that they produced. It's a spin-off of the Little Red Riding Hood fairy tale, fantasy horror aimed more at an adult audience, featuring Angela Lansbury. I like Neil Jordan as a director, and I thought The Crying Game in the early 90s on the IRA and that fantastic twist, I thought that was a superb film. Anybody seen Neil Jordan's In the Company of Wolves, a film from the mid-1980s? That was my first purchase. Purchased this one on eBay, got it for about £8. It's in a nice steel case, rather nice presentation, and it's quite short. It's only an hour and a half. So that was my first purchase. Yep, so Mr. Baseheart giving the thumbs up, a recommendation. Okay, so we did a round last week on, was it last week or the week before? It was on the Coen brothers, the great Hollywood modern day directors. I kind of forgot how good they are. And I'd probably go as far as to say of modern filmmakers, but they're not really that modern now. They've been around for a good 40 years, 30, 40 years. How prolific they are. So I found this box set secondhand on eBay. It was only about £20. It's the complete Coen brothers collection. It's not complete because there's a few titles missing. This was released a few years back before their more recent releases. It's from 1984, their debut film, to 2004. And really good set of films. It's Blood Simple, their debut film. Raising Arizona with Nicolas Cage and Holly Hunter. The crime film Miller's Crossing with Gabriel Byrne. Barton Fink, which I'm yet to see. The comedy The Hudsucker Proxy. Fargo, The Big Lebowski, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? The Man Who Wasn't There, Intolerable Cruelty. And lastly, their remake of the Ealing classic, The Lady Killers, with Tom Hanks, which I hear is one of their weaker films. So yeah, a nice little purchase. And at some point, I need to sit through these films. The Coen brothers. So some good films in that pack. Give me plenty to do. Okay, so we've got a load of people tuned in tonight. Really appreciate your support. Lucy's just joined us. Gail Rogers, who's based in Southfield in Bristol. Looking forward to this one. And this is the final quiz, the 18th week, the last one. I feel like crying, but I've got my glass of wine and my water to sort my throat out, my husky voice. I'm sounding a little bit like Al Pacino. Sadly not got his acting talent. Okay, so here we go. You ready for tonight's quiz? Good luck to you all. Hope we get some really top scores. And the only thing I'll say, I always say it, is don't write your answers in the live chat box because everyone will see them. It's all just good fun, just to test your cinema knowledge, and the answers will be read back at the end. So round number one, this was a recommendation. These are all suggestions from quiz participants. Round number one, Kiefer Sutherland, the Hollywood actor. Here we go. So question number one, round number one, 10 questions on the American actor Kiefer Sutherland. Here we go. Okay, so name the character Sutherland plays in the popular crime drama TV series 24, which broadcast from 2001 to 2010. So the first question, popular television series 24 with Kiefer Sutherland as the lead. But can you tell me the character name that he plays in the television series 24? That's number one. Number two now on Kiefer. So Sutherland was engaged to which Hollywood actress in August of 1990? She broke the engagement 3 days before the wedding. What a thing to do. Break a man's heart. So all these questions related to the actor Kiefer Sutherland. Question number 2 was Sutherland was engaged to which Hollywood actress in August of 1990? She broke the engagement 3 days before the wedding. Who was she? Number 3 now, round 1. Sutherland plays gunman Doc Scurlock in a 1988 Western. It co-stars Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Charlie Sheen. But can you tell me the name of the film? So number 3, this is a Western dating back to the 1980s. Sutherland plays gunman Don Scurlock in a 1988 Western. It co-starring alongside Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Charlie Sheen. But can you tell me the name of the film? This was one that was always on late night TV. Used to come on ITV around about 10, 11 o'clock at night. Not a bad little film. Not seen it in a long, long time. Good 30 years old now. Well, nearly 40. Number 4 now. Tricky one. Which musketeer did Sutherland play in Disney's 1993 live-action version of The Three Musketeers? So number 4 again, round number 1. Which musketeer did Sutherland play in Disney's 1993 live version of The Three Musketeers? This was another film I remember seeing as a youngster. Saw it at the Odeon on Union Street here in Bristol. Oh, it feels like a lifetime ago. Long time. It's quite a good film from what I remember. Okay, so number 5, a little synopsis. Can you name the film? Name the Sutherland movie released in 1990. It's about 5 medical students experimenting with near-death experiences until the dark consequences of past tragedies begin to jeopardize their lives. So we're halfway through the round with question number 5. So name the Sutherland movie released in 1990. It's about 5 medical students experimenting with near-death experiences until the dark consequences of past tragedies begin to jeopardize their lives. Tell me the name of the film. Number 6 now. Sutherland co-starred alongside Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson in which military courtroom drama released in 1992? This is a film that's cropped up in conversation when we've done previous quizzes. And ironically, Tom Cruise is a subject for a future round tonight. But tell me, the Sutherland film co-starring Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson is a military courtroom drama released in 1992. But can you tell me the name of the film? What was the title? Have a quick sip of my vodka. Honestly, it's water, trust me. Clear my throat out a bit. Number 7, Kiefer Sutherland's father is the Hollywood actor Donald Sutherland. We all probably know that. But name his actress' mother. This is a really tricky question. Really, probably one of the hardest ones of the round. So Kiefer Sutherland's father is the Hollywood actor Donald Sutherland. Name his actress' mother. Somebody just logged on, someone I used to work with at the cinema. Thanks a lot for taking part. I hope you're well. Okay. Now, question number 8. Kiefer Sutherland, round 1. Sutherland plays Ace Merrill in which 1986 film about a childhood journey to discover the body of a missing boy? So this is a well-known film from the 1980s. It got a cinema re-release not so long ago. But the question is, number 8, Sutherland plays Ace Merrill in which 1986 film about a childhood journey to discover the body of a missing boy? 2 more questions to go, as we've got somebody else taking part. Hannah Fountain. Yeah, I can repeat any questions after the round. That's not a problem. So number 8, I'm looking for 2 answers. So 2 points on offer for this one. This one's another hard one. So Kiefer Sutherland has released 2 country music albums, a singer, a songwriter, and a rhythm guitarist. But name the 2 album titles. They were released in 2016 and 2019. So yeah, Sutherland's a country music star. I've seen him a couple of times in concert, and he's good band. He's a good showman. I've seen him at the what was the beer keller. I saw him in Bath. Saw him in Bristol again. But he's released 2 country music albums as a singer, songwriter, and rhythm guitarist. But can you tell me the titles of the 2 albums? First one was released in 2016. The second one was released last year. It's very much old school country. He's big into people like Merle Haggard, Johnny Cash, of course. And he's good band, they're good musicians. And the last one, number 10, bit more recent, this one. 2002 film, I say more recent, that's nearly like 20 years ago. Sutherland plays a mysterious hidden sniper, co-starring alongside Colin Farrell, in which 2002 Joel Schumacher film? So that's the last one, number 10. Sutherland plays a mysterious hidden sniper, co-starring alongside Colin Farrell, in which 2002 Joel Schumacher film? So that's round 1 all done. That was the 10 questions. A couple of people joined us late in the round. Let me know if you need any repeating, and also let me know your feelings. What do you think of Kiefer Sutherland as an actor and a TV star, country music star as well, with his music prowess as well? Any repeating, just shout out the question number. Let me know how you feel with your Kiefer Sutherland round. An A+ tonight, maybe a top score, or maybe a D-, not so good. How did you feel about Kiefer Sutherland? Evening, Chris. Yeah, 2 and 3. Yeah, no problem. Questions 2 and 3. Yeah, so question 2 was, Sutherland was engaged to which Hollywood actress in August 1990? She broke the engagement 3 days before the wedding. That was number 2. And number 3, Sutherland plays gunman Doc Scurlock in a 1988 Western. It co-stars Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips, and Charlie Sheen. But tell me the name of the film. Yeah, number 4, no problem. So number 4 was, which musketeer did Sutherland play in Disney's 1993 live-action version of The Three Musketeers? So Gail's quite confident with an 8. She obviously has a little soft spot for Kiefer. It's strange with Kiefer, he was sort of becoming a bit of a star in the 80s with films like Lost Boys, and kind of lost his way a little bit. Never really kind of the big star I imagined, but he's a good all-round talent. I like him. He's good. Question 1. Yeah, no problem. So 1 was, name the character Sutherland plays in the popular crime drama TV series 24. So I want the character name. What's the name of the person he plays? And Mr. Baseheart, confident with an 8. He thinks. We'll move on to number 2. Round number 2 in just a minute. Same format, 10 questions. And round number 2, I got to familiarise myself. The answers. All will be revealed at the end, as they say. The spiky chick says an 8. 8 would be a good score. Round number 2. What was round number 2? Movie villains for round number 2. Let's go with question number 1. Movie villains, 10 questions. Number 1. Name the Terminator's nemesis, played by actor Robert Patrick, in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So this is the question 1 of the second round. It's a question related to the Terminator franchise. As Lucy says a 7, maybe, for round number 1. That would be a good score. Question number 1 for round 2 was name the Terminator's nemesis, played by actor Robert Patrick, in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. What is the character's name? Number 2, looking for an actor's name for this one. So number 2, name the Australian actor who plays villain Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy of popular films. I know they're making another one, so I presume this actor will be back in the forefront for this future film. When it will be released, I have no idea, particularly with the major studios postponing these films. But question 2 is name the Australian actor who plays villain Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy of films. We move on to number 3. Bad guys in films or movie villains. Here's number 3. The Emperor, who appears in Return of the Jedi, the Star Wars prequels, and the Rise of Skywalker, is known as which other name? So he's in the most recent Star Wars film. I'm not going to say much more about that one because I absolutely did not like it at all. I'll get slapped round the back of the head for saying that. But the Emperor, who appears in Return of the Jedi, the Star Wars prequels, and the Rise of Skywalker, is known as which other name? Number 4 now. Name the late British actor who plays the Sheriff of Nottingham in 1991's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. That famous pop song by Bryan Adams that spent, how many weeks was it, at number 1? A late British actor who plays the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. But tell me the name of the actor. Sadly died a couple of years ago. Really good actor, prolific, good stage actor. Number 5, Louise Fletcher won the Academy Award for her portrayal of which character in Milos Forman's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest from 1975. This is a film I sadly confess to never seeing. One of the iconic films of the 70s, Jack Nicholson, of course. I'll repeat the question. Movie villains round. So Louise Fletcher won the Academy Award for her portrayal of which character in Milos Forman's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest? Number 6 now, a little bit more contemporary. Name the actor who won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role as Nazi officer Hans Landa in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. So number 6 again, I want you to tell me the name of the actor who won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role as Nazi officer Hans Landa in Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. Couple more left in this round. Okay, so for number 7, a point for each, but we're looking for 4 answers for this one. Tricky one, this one. But can you name the 4 actors who have portrayed Hannibal Lecter in film and television versions based on Robert Harris's novel? So there's been numerous sequels, spin-offs, a TV series on the famous villain Hannibal Lecter. 4 actors have played him in TV and film versions. A couple you know straight away. Some a little bit harder, but name the 4 actors who've played Hannibal Lecter on the big and small screen. Number 8, I'd imagine you all get this one. Name the silent bounty hunter who was part of the Star Wars universe and appears in The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi. Number 8 again, name the silent bounty hunter who is part of the Star Wars universe and appears in The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi. 2 more left now to end up round number 2 on your movie villains. Here's number 9. Name the evil lion in Disney's 1994 animated feature, The Lion King. For an extra point, name the actor who voices him. So Disney again did a remake of this one. Not animated in the kind of traditional way, but with computer animation. I quite enjoyed it. But I want you to tell me the name of the evil lion in Disney's 1994 animated feature, The Lion King. But for a bonus point, so 2 answers, name the actor who voices him. And lastly, number 10, the final one, a Star Wars question again. Name Rey's, played by Daisy Ridley's, arch rival in Disney's Star Wars trilogy of films. They're The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. So I want you to tell me Rey's arch rival, Daisy Ridley, the actress, in the Star Wars trilogy of films, the most recent ones made by Disney. The films obviously were The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and The Rise of Skywalker. So who's the main villain in those series, those trilogy of films? So that's all 10 done. Round number 2, we're pretty much nearly halfway through. We've got 5 rounds tonight, 50 questions altogether. How are you feeling on your movie villains? Do you know your bad guys, your bad girls? How did you fare on this round? Some tricky ones, some not so tricky. How did you fare? And in a sec, we'll go on to the 3rd round. 3rd round this evening, I need to remind myself, is the genre the Western. Westerns. Looking forward to that. Round number 3. Hannah Fountain first to put a score up. Predicted score 12 out of 14, she reckons. That would be a good score. Bikey Chick, and maybe an 11. Let down by the TV Hannibal Lecter knowledge. I wouldn't have known that one. The actor who plays him on the television series, I've not even seen the TV programme. Kieran saying a 14 maybe. Would be a good score. Would be a good score indeed. Okay, so before we move on to round number 3 and you put in your scores, I mentioned that I haven't seen anything this week. I've been a little bit lazy. The kids have been going to bed later than I have. And starting a film at 9, 10 o'clock I didn't find particularly appealing. And having a little bit of a lurgy. What have people seen this week on your things like Netflix, Mubi, Amazon Prime, or on your DVD, Blu-ray collection? Any recommendations that you've watched this week as the scores flood in? Lucy Hawkins an 11, perhaps. Gail Rogers enjoyed the round, confident with a 14. That would be a good score. A good score indeed. Any recommendations for me and the rest of the participants that you've watched? Or maybe you've watched them in the cinema. You know, cinemas have reopened. The cinema I work at has, showing a lot of films from yesteryear. Films like Your Reservoir Dogs, Shawshank Redemption, Pulp Fiction, Empire Strikes Back, all the classics. Lawrence of Arabia, which I fancy, Blade Runner. Watched a bunch of awful films, including The Package and Trick on Netflix. Wouldn't recommend, I don't know those. I watched a bad film last week that I spoke about. I had a box set on Hellraiser, and I quite enjoyed Hellraiser 1, but I thought the sequel was appalling. So I've not bothered watching number 3, Hell on Earth. I thought Hellraiser 2, it was so bad. Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah, we'll certainly be talking Mission Impossible a bit with Tom Cruise. Three Billboards, I think, is a brilliant film. It feels a little bit like a Coen Brothers film, and obviously there's that link with Frances McDormand. She's brilliant in everything she does. Sam Rockwell, good. Woody Harrelson. Some brilliant writing. I thought it was a great film. Did it win best film at the Oscars, or did it lose that? I know she won Best Actress, but I agree with you there. It was a cracking film. Well written, very good story, good subject, topical. Signs of racism as well on the force, with a very white supremacist force of cops. Yeah, I agree with you. Great film. Three Billboards. If you're not seeing it, watch it. Okay, so round number 3. Round number 3, the Westerns. The Western genre. So we got some old Hollywood classics, the black and white days, the classic days, and some more modern ones. It's a genre I really like. It's a little bit of a male genre, maybe more for males than females. I don't know. My wife doesn't like Westerns at all. She finds them quite boring, but I do like a good cowboy film. Okay, number 1, James Stewart stars in which 1950 Western about the journey of a prized rifle from one ill-fated owner to another, parallels a cowboy's search for a mysterious fugitive? So a tricky one to start the round. From 1950. It's a James Stewart Western about the journey of a prized rifle from one ill-fated owner to another that parallels a cowboy's search for a mysterious fugitive. And I got a feeling Mr. Baseheart will get this one. He likes his old Westerns. Number 2, what was John Wayne's real name? So one of the great American icons in the role of the cowboy. But John Wayne was his stage or film name. What was his real name, his birth name? So what was John Wayne's real name? That's number 2. Number 3, we move on to a director synonymous with the Western. One of the all-time greats. But name the acclaimed American director who was synonymous for making great Westerns and won 4 Best Director Oscars. His work includes Stagecoach, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and The Searchers. So we're looking for one of the classic Hollywood directors. Known for the Western, he won 4 Best Director Oscars, and some of his films included Stagecoach, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance, and The Searchers. Yeah, no problem. I'll repeat number 1. That's for Gail. So number 1 was James Stewart stars in which 1950 Western about the journey of a prized rifle from one ill-fated owner to another that parallels a cowboy's search for a mysterious fugitive. That's the synopsis, but tell me the Western, the name of the film. 2 answers to number 4, so 2 points on offer for this one. Nice and simple. Name the famous acting duo who played Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in the 1969 Western of the same name. So 2 famous Hollywood actors, both very good-looking leading men, great actors. Both had superb camaraderie on screen and stage and film presence. But name the duo who played Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid in the 1969 Western of the same name. That is number 4. I'll just have a quick swig of the water. Number 5 now, Westerns is the round. Name the 1950 Western which sees Gregory Peck play a notorious gunman, Jimmy Ringo, who rides into town to find his true love, who doesn't want to see him. So 1950 Western, starring Gregory Peck. He plays a gunman called Jimmy Ringo, who rides into town to find his true love, but sadly she doesn't want to see him. What is the name of the Western? Halfway through this round. Number 6, name the Hollywood actor who plays the hero Marshal Will Kane in the classic 1952 Western High Noon. So High Noon's one of the films that's always rated as one of the all-time great Westerns. But can you tell me the name of the lead actor? He plays the hero Marshal Will Kane in the 1952 Western High Noon. Name the actor, the Hollywood icon. Number 7 now. Okay, so only 4 Westerns have won the Academy Award for Best Picture. Can you name all 4? So 4 points on offer for this one, on Westerns. So only 4 Westerns have won the Academy Award for Best Picture. But can you tell me the name of all 4 films? Move on to 8 in just a minute. Getting near the end of this round. 3 more questions to go on your Westerns. And I'll ask you at the end your thoughts on the Western genre. It's kind of one of the genres that's died out in modern times. There have been a few modern Westerns, but not so many. We've had some that have crossed over with other genres. I do like a Western. Okay, name this classic 1953 Western, directed by George Stevens and starring Alan Ladd. It's about a weary gunfighter who attempts to settle down with a homestead family, but a smouldering rancher conflict forces him to act. So this is another classic Western from 1953. It's a George Stevens film starring Alan Ladd. It's about a weary gunfighter who attempts to settle down with a homestead family, but a smouldering rancher conflict forces him to act. But tell me the name of the Western. It's another classic film, shown quite regularly, broadcast on telly. Number 9 now, a director. Name the filmmaker. Can you name the American director who made the classic 1969 Western The Wild Bunch? His other directorial work includes Cross of Iron, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, and Straw Dogs. So an American filmmaker, a well-known one. He directed the 1969 Western The Wild Bunch. Tell me his name. Another great film, Western genre, The Wild Bunch. William Holden, Ernest Borgnine. Quite a violent Western for the time. And number 10, last one of the round, for round number 3. Name the iconic American actor who plays Vin Tanner in the original The Magnificent Seven Western released way back in 1960. So name the Hollywood actor, one of the all-time great icons, who plays the role of Vin Tanner in The Magnificent Seven, the original version released way back in 1960. So Rob asking for a repeat for number 8. Yeah, so number 8, name the classic 1953 Western directed by George Stevens and starring Alan Ladd. It's about a weary gunfighter who attempts to settle down with a homestead family, but a smouldering branch of conflict forces him to act. But tell me that name of the Western. What is the Western? Alan Ladd, George Stevens directs. So how did you feel on your Westerns? Anybody keen on the Western genre? What are your favourite Westerns? And what are your predicted scores for this round? There's a recommendation again, somebody that played last week. I don't know who. If they're playing tonight, let me know. They wanted 10 questions on Westerns. So how did you all feel about this tricky round? Probably the hardest round tonight, especially if you're not so up on your older cinema knowledge. Don't remember John Wayne's last name. That's a tricky one, the John Wayne question. Big John Wayne. Kieran Nicholson at 8, maybe. Gail saying terrible. But 5's not a bad score. If you get half of the questions, it's not so bad. I must admit, I must confess, I quite like John Wayne. I think he's made some really prolific Westerns in the history of cinema. No doubt about it, an American icon. First name you'll probably mention would be John Wayne. If somebody said, what characteristics are there in the Western? What would you say is typical of a Western film? You probably, first thing come in your head is John Wayne movies. Is Mr. Baseheart confident with a 10? That would be a good score. We'll move on to 4th round. We've only got 2 more rounds left tonight for the final quiz, the 18th week. Blood Meriden is a good Western book. Okay. Don't know that book. I'll check it out. 4 for Bikey Chick, not confident. Rob Delaney, confident with an 8. And Lucy says she hates Westerns, saying a 4. And Christopher Blackett, 11. That would be a good score. Let's move on to 4. Picked around on Tom Cruise. We got the sequel to Top Gun due for release. It's been pushed back to next year. My wife's constantly playing the original soundtrack. It's constantly on our sound system. That Kenny Loggins playing with the boys and those tracks did put a smile on my face. So I got to be honest, they're not bad pop songs in fairness. I'm not really a big fan of the film, the first one, but I thought, why not put a round together on Tom Cruise, being a massive leading man in Hollywood for decades. Like him or loathe him, popular star, a big pull at the box office. So here's 10 questions on Mr. Tom Cruise. Here we go. Tricky one to start with. Number 1. Name Tom Cruise's first wife. They married on May the 9th, 1987 and divorced in February of 1990. She introduced Cruise to Scientology. So Cruise, I think, has been married 3 times. This was his first wife. She's an actress. They married in 1987, divorced in 1990. Tell me her name. Don't really see a lot of her now. Maybe doing a lot of TV stuff. I'm just going to quickly bolt the door before the cat climbs in. Ooh. Get the padlock on. Ooh. Number 2 now. Mistake for me, I put Tom Hanks. It's not Tom Hanks, it's Tom Cruise. So Tom Cruise has received 3 Oscar nominations, but is yet to win the Academy Award. Name the 3 films he's been nominated for. 2 in a leading role, the other in a supporting role. So Cruise has been nominated a couple of times for the Oscar. 3 Oscar nominations, he's yet to win the Oscar. But name the 3 films he's been nominated for. 2 in the leading actor role and 1 in the best supporting actor. So 3 films, 3 points on offer there for number 2. Number 3, I've already given away this kind of answer earlier on. Let's see if you were listening. Name the character Cruise plays in Top Gun and the upcoming sequel released next year. So number 3, name the character Cruise plays in Top Gun and the upcoming sequel, which is released. It's been delayed now. It's being released in 2021. The trailer looks quite good. Number 4 now. Cruise plays which homicide detective based on author Lee Child's creation in a 2012 and 2016 sequel? So there's a series of books by Lee Child. Cruise plays a homicide detective, and the character's based on Lee Child's creation in 2 feature films released in 2012 and 2016. But tell me the name of the character Cruise plays. Another Cruise question. Number 5. Cruise co-stars with actress Rebecca De Mornay in a 1983 film about a Chicago teenager looking for fun while his parents are away. But tell me the name of the film. So this is a film released way back in 1983. Cruise co-stars alongside Rebecca De Mornay. He plays a Chicago teenager looking for fun while his parents are away. But tell me the name of the film. Rebecca De Mornay, that's a name from the past. The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. I always fancied her. I thought she was a beautiful looking woman. Don't see her too much now, do you? Don't know again if she's maybe doing a lot of TV work. Number 6 now. Cruise acted opposite Brad Pitt in Neil Jordan's Interview with the Vampire. The film is adapted from a novel by which author? Hard question there. But Cruise acted opposite Brad Pitt in Neil Jordan's Interview with the Vampire. The film's adapted from a novel by which author? Couple more left. Couple of answers to this one, so I'm looking for 3 answers for this next one. 3 points on offer. Round number 4, Tom Cruise. Cruise starred opposite his second wife, Nicole Kidman, in 3 films. Can you name all 3 films? So Cruise's second wife was Nicole Kidman. Sadly ended in divorce, bit of tears. But can you name the 3 films that they worked together on? So they made 3 films together. Tell me them. Name the titles. Number 8 now. Name the American actress who plays Cruise's love interest, Jordan Mooney, in the 1988 film Cocktail. So this is an American actress. She made a series of films in the 80s that were very popular. She plays Cruise's love interest. Her name's Jordan Mooney in the film. In Cocktail, 1988, but tell me the name of the actress. This is another female star from the 80s that I had the hots for back in the day. Confessing all my sins tonight on the final quiz. She looked like the girl next door, but name the actress. Cruise's co-star and love interest in Cocktail. Okay, number 9. Name Cruise's third wife, who married the star in 2006, but they divorced in 2012. So I mentioned that Cruise has been married 3 times, and we've had a couple of questions related to his former wives. Married for the third and final time in 2006, but name the actress that he married. They divorced in 2012. Okay, last question of the round, number 10, as we move towards the end. And the last penultimate round, number 5, which would be leading ladies. Number 10 is as follows. Name the character Cruise plays in the popular Mission Impossible films. So someone earlier on mentioned that they watched one of their sons, one of the Mission Impossible films, installments. But name the character Cruise plays in the films. What's the character name? Okay, so there's your 10 questions. Round number 4 on Cruisey. Tom Cruise, massive star. He seems to look better and better as he gets older. Never seems to age. He looks better now than he did back in the 80s. But how confident are you? Anybody do a little bit of research preparing for this round? Tom Cruise films. How did you fare with these? Not too bad, these ones. I think the Western round is probably the trickiest one tonight. As we move on to the 18th week and the final set of 10 questions with the lockdown quiz. Oh, wow. So Mr. Harlequin, he's been taking part in the quiz for weeks. He's saying his cousin had a small part in the first Mission Impossible movie. I think that was released in the 90s. Brian De Palma at the helm. Mr. Basehart saying a 14. And Gail Rogers saying a full house. 14. Mr. Harlequin saying one less of 13. Another good score if that was the case. Kieran Nicholson in 9. Anyone else confident on your Tom Cruise questions? Okay, so it's that time to go for the last 10 questions. Questions 40 to 50 for the final LA cinema quiz. Can't believe it's been 18 weeks. It's flown by. 4 months. Yeah, it's just absolutely flown by these last couple of months. Crazy times. Bikey Chick saying a 9 and Hannah Fountain a 13. Okay, so let's see how you do on your leading ladies. Set of 10 questions. Emma Richards, 12-13, we think. It'd be a good score. Leading ladies to finish up tonight. Here we go. Okay, question 1. Round number 5. So name the actress who plays Molly Bloom in Molly's Game, Murph in Interstellar, and Beverly Marsh in It Chapter 2. That is the first question of the last round. So Christopher Blackett's in a 14. Again, another good score. Okay, so number 1 again, leading Hollywood ladies. I want you to name the actress who plays Molly Bloom in Molly's Game, Murph in Interstellar, and Beverly Marsh in the film It Chapter 2. Excuse me, number 2 now. Throat's getting a little bit dry. Name the Oscar-winning actress who won the Gold Statue for her portrayal of Eileen in the 2003 film Monster. So a leading Hollywood actress. She won the Best Performance, the Oscar winner in 2003 for a portrayal of the character Eileen in the film Monster, but tell me the actress's name. That's number 2. Number 3 now. Name the talented British actress who played Mary Poppins in 2018 and portrayed FBI agent Kate Mesa in Sicario. Really good actress. I'm a big fan of her. She's good in everything she's in. But tell me the talented British actress who played Mary Poppins in 2018 and played FBI agent Kate Mesa in Sicario. You'll also see her in the sequel to A Quiet Place, which again, I think is not coming out till later in the year or maybe next year. Number 4 now. I want you to name the versatile US actress who won the Best Actress Oscar for her performance as a woman diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in the 2014 film Still Alice. So yeah, prolific actress, been around for decades now, highly rated by her peers. She won the Oscar for a performance as a woman diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in the 2014 film Still Alice. But tell me the name of the actress. Halfway through the round now, getting towards the end of the night, the 5th and final penultimate round. Number 5, name the actress who was in a relationship with Heath Ledger and appeared with him in Brokeback Mountain. Again, this is another actress who I highly rate. She's always consistently good, very talented. But name the actress who was in a relationship with the late Heath Ledger and appeared with him in Brokeback Mountain. Number 6, she played Lois Lane, Susan Morrow in Nocturnal Animals, and linguist Louise Banks in Arrival. Tell me the name of the American actress. Another talented actress who's consistently good with film characters she plays. She played Lois Lane in the new Superman films, Susan Morrow in Nocturnal Animals, and linguist Louise Banks in Arrival. But tell me her name. Next one's number 7. Name the Oscar-winning actress who plays Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games films and Tiffany in her Oscar-winning turn in Silver Linings Playbook. And imagine you'll all get this one right when I reveal the answers right at the end. Nice and simple. Name the Oscar-winning actress who plays Katniss Everdeen in the Hunger Games films and Tiffany in her Oscar-winning turn in Silver Linings Playbook. Couple more left. The last round tonight, round number 5. Leading Hollywood ladies. Here's number 8. Name the actress who won the Supporting Actress Oscar for her role in Fences in 2016. She also played Veronica in Steve McQueen's Widows and Abilene Clark in The Help. Another good actress. I really enjoyed the film Widows. If you've not seen that one, check it out. Good Steve McQueen film. The guy did 12 Years a Slave, but name the actress who won the Supporting Actress Oscar for her role in Fences. She also played Veronica in Steve McQueen's Widows and Abilene Clark in the film The Help. Tell me the name of the actress. Quick sip of the old vino. What are you all drinking this evening? Similar to me, glass of white wine. Anyone on the spirits? Maybe a cider, a beer. I'm normally a cider drinker, but I've been drinking more wine of late, to be honest. Number 9 now. Iconic Hollywood actress Name the actress who has received the most Academy Award nominations. Amazingly, 21 in total. She has won 3 Oscars. So Kieran saying on the red wine. Reminds me of a Neil Diamond song that UB40 covered. Classic 80s tune. Beers, saying Rob. Couple of vodkas. God, I haven't had vodka for years. Since my 20s. I remember going on a holiday to Russia with my dad and getting absolutely trolleyed on vodka in the bar. And being chatted up by a Russian escort. That's a story for another time. I can assure you nothing happened. Yeah, I remember feeling dreadful on vodka. Buckham, Ian, sorry, crikey. Pimm's is something I've never had, I don't think. Cheap as chips. There, aren't they? I don't know, I never found out. I shouldn't have confessed that. It's a long, long time ago. A Russian winter night. Need I say more? Digressing. Number 10. Name the Australian-born actress who has won 2 Oscars. The first for her portrayal of Hollywood icon Katharine Hepburn in The Aviator, and Jasmine in Woody Allen's drama Blue Jasmine. I can't keep a straight face. Used to like, what's the stuff called? Vodka. Stolichnaya, a Russian vodka. And they all kind of drink it neat over there. Puts hairs on your chest. So number 10, name the Australian-born actress who has won 2 Oscars. The first for a portrayal of Hollywood icon Katharine Hepburn in Scorsese's The Aviator, and Jasmine in Woody Allen's drama Blue Jasmine. Christopher on the cider, the strong bow. Okay, so that was all 10 questions. That was the penultimate round of tonight. How did you get on? Leading ladies in Hollywood, mainly contemporary actresses, a whole host of talent. I never got to find out. Oh, I shouldn't be confessing these things, should I? Wearing my heart on my sleeve. I was sadly sharing a hotel room with my dad at the time. I went on a holiday to what was Leningrad, St. Petersburg for 5 days. Stranded with my dad for 5 of them. And I decided one night to go on my own, have a little break from my dad, some well-deserved time on my own, to the bar. Sat at the bar and I had far too many. And a young lady, I'd probably put her in her early 30s, left her handbag, an expensive handbag on the top, on the side. And I did say to the woman behind the bar in the hotel that this woman kept leaving her handbag. She didn't speak a lot of English and said, whatever you do, do not go up to that lady. Said, no, no, no. And I realized it was a decoy to say that she was an escort. Me and my naivety, nothing happened, fear not. But it's all life experience, I guess. Long time ago. Okay, so scores in. I can't keep a straight face now. Hannah, 9 for us on leading ladies. That would be good. Yeah, I've been digging a grave for the last 20 years, I think, Rob. 10 for Mr. Baseheart. Bikey Chick, a 5. Kieran Nicholson, a 10. 10 out of 10. Shan confident on leading ladies. Archers and Lemonade for Bikey Chick. Yeah, I should, God rest his soul, I should blame my dad. I should, yeah. Russian lady, say no more. Gail Rogers, a 10. Some good scores there. The answers for all 5 rounds, all 50 questions, will be revealed in just a minute. I'm certainly not going to reveal anything else this evening. I was going to ask you a couple of quick things before we finish up, which I always do. Recommendations, some film-related things. See what you say. As Gail says, a 10. Christopher Blackett, an 8. Some good scores. Okay, so I was going to ask, we had a round on Tom Cruise. He's been a big star for the last, 30, 40 years, a leading man in Hollywood. I know he's a little bit, some people love him. I know he's very good to his fans at premieres, signing a lot of signatures, taking selfies and photos. But what do you think of Cruise? Do you like him? Do you think he is a great Hollywood star? Do you think his public persona is good when he's interviewed and on chat shows and so on? Or with his Scientology angle, are you not so keen? What are your opinions on Tom Cruise? I kind of have a mixed opinion on Tom. I kind of feel when he does some serious roles, which he has in the past, I kind of think he's done some good performances, but I'm not so keen when he just kind of plays the action man, the action star, which he has done for maybe the last sort of decade in Hollywood. But I think when he plays some more serious roles, some more challenging, darker characters, I think he does a good job. I'd like to see more of that in his later years. Rob saying he's not a good actor, he's boring. The thing is, I think with Tom Cruise, I could name dozens of actors who I think are better, much better. But I wouldn't say they were necessarily as big stars as Tom Cruise. My favourite actor for decades has been Robert De Niro. I think he's a far better actor than Tom Cruise, but is he a bigger star than Tom Cruise? I'd have to say no. Yeah, A Few Good Men. Mr. Baseheart likes Cruisey. He's adapted well. Knows how to make a good film. Yeah, he's been around a long time. Longevity says a lot in a very hard industry. It's never easy in the Hollywood to have long careers and still be a big star. Yeah, he is quite a short guy. I think he's about 5'5" or 5'6". Yeah, Colour and Money. Although I do prefer Paul Newman. I got to be honest, did like Paul Newman a lot. So it seems like most of you do like Cruisey. What about the Scientology thing? Because he's been quite vocal about his opinions on Scientology in documentaries. He's introduced his wives to Scientology, which I think damaged his second marriage to Nicole Kidman. Yeah, Suspect is John Travolta, similar with his Scientology belief. Okay, my second question. We mentioned leading ladies was our last round. Who are your favourite leading ladies in Hollywood? They don't necessarily have to be contemporary ones. Who are the actresses who you would say are the best around today, the most versatile, give the most consistent performances? It could be icons from the past, like maybe Marilyn Monroe, Jane Fonda, Betty Davis, Joan Fontaine. Who are the female stars that you rate and why? Just trying to think ones today that I think are good. Charlize Theron, I always think's good. Michelle Williams, I like a lot. Meryl Streep's always good, but she's been around for a long time. Julianne Moore. Barbara Stanwyck, say it from Mr. Bayside, that's a name from the old classic cinema. Meryl Streep, she always gets a mention. It's Emma saying that, been around for generations now, consistently good. Yeah, I agree with Frances McDormand. Olivia Colman in The Favourite. I like this Emma Stone who was in the Favourite. I think she's good. I think she always gives a good performance. She's good in Birdman. Kerry Mulligan, yeah, she is good. Very underrated. Sigourney Weaver, you don't see so much of her now. Alien, the Ghostbusters films 1 and 2, and in the new one, I believe. Gorillas in the Mist, going back. Betty Davis, the classic female actress from classic Hollywood years. Another one I'd add to the list. What about some contemporary ones? I think Anne Hathaway is quite good, in fairness. I think she's given some good performances. Always quite impressed with her. Meryl Streep. Yeah, I think a lot of you will say that. Okay, so we'll go with the answers. All the answers, I'll read them back round by round, and we'll see how you got on. See what your scores are at the end of the night. So round number 1 was the Kiefer Sutherland round. As Mr. Bayside says, Amy Adams, she cropped up in a question earlier on. I agree. She is consistently good. Jessica Chastain is always good, I find. She cropped up in another answer from round number 5. Excuse me. Scarlett Johansson, yeah, she's good. She's in this, is it Marriage Story? I've heard that's good. Rachel Weisz is quite good, I find. She's given some good performances. Good in The Favourite, again. Helen Mirren, some British additions. She's good. Again, been around a long, long time. There's probably so many. Julianne Moore, did I mention her? Okay, so here we go. The answer for number 1, the character that Kiefer Sutherland plays in 24 is Jack Bauer. So that's answer number 1. Jack Bauer. Yeah, Laura Dern, you're spot on. She's underrated. She's great in a lot of David Lynch's films. Jodie Foster's great. Julia Roberts was the actress that broke their engagement 3 days before the wedding. So Julia Roberts, number 2, broke Kiefer Sutherland's heart. Young Guns was the answer to 3, the Western, co-starring alongside Emilio Estevez, Lou Diamond Phillips and Charlie Sheen. So it was Young Guns, and they did a sequel, didn't they? Young Guns 2. Number 4, it was Athos, the character Sutherland played, one of the Three Musketeers in the Disney version. So Athos. Number 5, the film I described from 1990 was Flatliners, which was remade. So Flatliners, the answer to number 5. Number 6, the film with Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, a military courtroom drama. It's A Few Good Men. So A Few Good Men. Number 7, it was Shelley Douglas, the actress who is his mother. Donald Sutherland is his father. The actress, his mother, is Shirley Douglas. Did anyone get that one? That was probably the hardest. I wouldn't have known that. Stand By Me was the film from 1986 that I described. So Stand By Me is answer number 8. One of the hardest ones of the round, the 2 country albums that he's done. I've got them both on CD. They're good, in fairness. And he's good live. If you get a chance to see him, he's good. He's a good showman. His songs are good, and his band are good. Good musicians. He's Down in the Hole, 2016, and the latest one was called Reckless and Me. That was his latest album. Gail did well. She got the Shirley Douglas one. Anyone get the 2 country albums he's produced? And number 10, the Joel Schumacher film was Phone Booth from 2002. So Phone Booth was the last one. Tally up your scores. How did you do with your Kiefer Sutherland films? Some hard ones in that, particularly the Mother's Name that Gail got. I think the country albums is a tricky one, especially if you didn't know he was a country music star and you've never heard the music. But yeah, if you get a chance and you like your music, he's touring all the time. He's good. He puts on a good show. The band I was really impressed with. Good guitarists, just good musicians. Only 7, not a country fan. That was Mr. Harlequin. Gail Rogers, a 9. Bikie Chick, excellent, a 10. Hannah Fountain, 9 out of 11. Emma saying not so good, rubbish, a 5. It's not bad. And Lucy Hawkins, a 7. Not bad. Any more scores on the board? Mr. Baseheart, a 7. A good score. Number 2 was Movie Villains, as Kieran Nicholson says, a 6. The answers for Movie Villains. How do you do with this? Number 1 was the T-1000, is the Terminator's nemesis, played by Robert Patrick in Terminator 2 Judgment Day. So the answer for number 1 is the T-1000. As Rob Delaney says, a 7 for round 1. Good score. Hugo Weaving is the actor who plays Agent Smith in the Matrix trilogy of films. So Hugo Weaving, the Australian actor. Answer number 2. Palpatine is the other character name for the Emperor. That was answer number 3. Number 4, the late British actor who plays the Sheriff of Nottingham in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. It was the good old Alan Rickman. He was brilliant as the baddie, the German baddie in Die Hard. So the late Alan Rickman. That's your answer to number 4. 5 was a tricky one. Louise Fletcher played which character? She won the Oscar in Milos Forman's One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It was Nurse Ratched. Nurse Ratched. Don't know if anyone you got that one. Tricky one. Christoph Waltz won the Oscar, the Best Supporting Actor Oscar, for his role as a Nazi officer Hans Lander in Inglourious Basterds. So the talented Christoph Waltz. Number 7. There's 4 answers to this one. This was tricky. The 4 actors who played Hannibal Lecter in film and television versions based on Robert Harris's books. The first one was Brian Cox, who I still think was the best one in Manhunter, which I still think is the best film by Michael Mann. So number 1 was Brian Cox. Anthony Hopkins, which I think you'd all got right, Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal. Then you had Mads Mikkelsen, the third person that played him. And lastly, Gaspard Ulliel. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So they're the four actors. Brian Cox, Anthony Hopkins, Mads Mikkelsen, and Gaspard Ulliel. Anyone get the last 2? They're tricky. I wouldn't have known those. Boba Fett is the Star Wars character, the bounty hunter from The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I think he's going to be in the next Mandalorian series, I hear. Rumour. Boba Fett. Number 9, it was Scar, the baddie lion. And the actor that voiced him was the British actor Jeremy Irons. So Scar, and the actor was Jeremy Irons. And lastly, I'd imagine you get this right. Who was Rey's arch nemesis in the new Star Wars films? It's Kylo Ren, played by the excellent Adam Driver, who I think is the best thing about the new Star Wars films. So Kylo Ren is the last one. How did you all get on with your movie villains, your bad guys? Top up your scores. We'll see how you did. So baddies, the villains. How did you get on? Ten, Emma Richards. The Richards, good score. Mr. Baseheart, good as usual. 13. Bikey Chick, good again. 13 is a good score. And Hannah Fountain, 12 out of 14 is good. And Mr. Harlequin, 13 out of 14 is another good score. So some good scores. Kieran, another good score with 14. And Lucy got the nurse one right from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Louise Fletcher, 11. And Gail Rogers, a 13. Another good score. So some high scores on that round 2. Round 3 was probably the hardest round of the night. It was the Western genre, as Rob gets a high score of 15. Very good. Thumbs up for that. So the first one, the James Stewart Western from 1950, it's a great film, Winchester 73. So Winchester 73 is answer number one. Number two, what was John Wayne's real name? It was Marion Michael Robertson. So Marion Michael Robertson, that's his real name. Number three, the director who made the Western Stagecoach, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance and The Searchers. He's one of the all-time greats, tremendous filmmaker, is John Ford. Many would put him as one of their favourite filmmakers of all time. Classic director, John Ford. Number four, I'd imagine you all got this, is Paul Newman and Robert Redford that played Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Number five, the Gregory Peck film from 1950 was The Gunfighter. So The Gunfighter, the answer for number five. Number six, the Hollywood actor that plays the hero Will Kane in High Noon is Gary Cooper. So Gary Cooper, the answer for that one, number six. Number seven was hard. 4 Westerns have won the Academy Award for Best Picture. I asked you to name all 4, really hard. The first one was Cimarron. The second was Dances with Wolves. Unforgiven the third, and No Country for Old Men. That's a little bit debatable if that one's a Western, but kind of mixed genres. So Cimarron, Dances with Wolves, Unforgiven, and No Country for Old Men. Number 8 was the 1953 Western that I described, starring Alan Ladd. It was Shane. So Shane is the answer for number 8. Sam Peckinpah was the director of The Wild Bunch. He also made films Cross of Iron, Pat Garrett and Billy the Kid, and the violent film Straw Dogs. So Sam Peckinpah, another great filmmaker from yesteryear. And number 10, Steve McQueen, the icon himself, played Vin Tanner in the original Magnificent Seven film way back in 1960. So Steve McQueen, the final answer. How did you get on with your Westerns? I'd imagine maybe some lower scores for this one. I know Mr. Baysart will do well. He loves his old school Hollywood films, the black and whites. That, I would say, is the hardest round of tonight. Tricky round on Westerns, particularly the ones that won the Best Picture Award, Western genres. Yeah, so answer 2 for the Western, no problem. The answer for 2 was Marion Michael Robertson, is the real name of John Wayne. Hannah Fountain is 6. That's quite a good score. Mr. Baysart leading the way so far with a 10. I knew he'd do well on this one. Lucy Hawkins quite good, a 7. Mr. Harlequin, not so great. 10 is a good score, very good. Gail Rogers, 6.5. Yeah, Marion Michael Morrison. Yeah, I'll give you that because it is. He's Marion Robertson, sometimes known as Marion Morrison. So yeah, I'll give you a point there. No problem. Should have said that earlier. So as the scores come in, we'll go with the Tom Cruise answers. So Tom Cruise was the topic for number 4. The answer was Mimi Rogers was his first wife. They divorced in 1990. So Mimi Rogers. Number 2. So I said that Cruise has been nominated 3 times for the Oscar, 2 in a leading role, 1 in a supporting. The nominations were for Born on the 4th of July, one of his best films, Jerry Maguire, and Magnolia. There was a lot of expectation that he'd take home the Oscar for Magnolia, but he didn't. So it was Magnolia, Jerry Maguire, and Born on the 4th of July. Maverick is the answer to 3. That's the character he plays in the Top Gun films. Top Gun 1986, and the new one, Top Gun Maverick, released next year. Jack Reacher is the homicide detective he plays in the two films. So Jack Reacher, based on Lee Child's creation. Number 5, the film he did with Rebecca De Mornay in 1983 is Risky Business. So Risky Business. Number 6, the author of Interview with the Vampire is Anne Rice. So Anne Rice, the answer. Number 7, the 3 films that he made with second wife Nicole Kidman are Days of Thunder, 1990, Far and Away from 1992, and Stanley Kubrick's final film, Eyes Wide Shut, in 1999. So Days of Thunder, with that beautiful song, Show Me Heaven, Far and Away, and Eyes Wide Shut. They're the 3 answers. Elizabeth Shue was the woman I fell in love with as a young kid, and that was his co-star in Cocktail from 1988. So it was Elizabeth Shue. Katie Holmes, the answer for number 9. Tom Cruise's third and final wife. They divorced in 2012. So Katie Holmes. And lastly, the character he plays in the Mission Impossible films. His name is Ethan Hunt. So Ethan Hunt, the answer for the last one of the round, number 10. So tot up the scores. How did you do for this round? Yeah, Reunited Apart. Yeah, I've mentioned these a couple of times. Josh Gad. Check them out. They're on YouTube. Josh, who's the voice artist for Olaf, the character in Frozen. He takes popular films, mainly from the 80s decade, like The Goonies, Back to the Future, gets the cast, the crew, original team back to talk about the role. They sometimes act out some of the lines. They're really good. I think they donate the money to charity. It's nice. Kieran a 9, Hannah a 10, Mr. Baysheart a 12. There's a Ghostbusters one I enjoyed. Bikey Chicken 11, good score. Mr. Harlequin 12 out of 14. Struggle with question number 2. Lucy Hawkins good, a 10, yeah. And Emma Richards a 9, another good score from Ian and Emma. It's a good score, 9. The last round was leading ladies. It was 10 questions on Hollywood leading ladies. Here are the answers. See how you got on with the final round. Then we'll get you to tot up your scores. One final kind of thing to say at the end. And then we'll wrap up for the 18th week. The final one. The final curtain, as they say. Yeah, it's been an interesting 18 weeks. I'll share my thoughts at the end and yours. Gone by so quick. Okay, so answer number 1 was Jessica Chastain. Played Molly Bloom in Molly's Game, Murph in Interstellar, and Beverly Marsh in It Chapter 2. So Jessica Chastain. Number 2 was Charlize Theron, who won the Oscar for her performance in Monster in 2003. So Charlize Theron. Emily Blunt, who I think is a great actress, played Mary Poppins, and she's in Sicario. You'll see us shortly in A Quiet Place 2. She's always good. Emily Blunt. Julianne Moore was the actress that won the Oscar for a role as a lady diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in Still Alice. So it's Julianne Moore. Michelle Williams was in a relationship with Heath Ledger. She appeared with him in Brokeback Mountain. So Michelle Williams is the answer for 5. Amy Adams, a favourite of Mr. Baysheart. She played Lois Lane. She was in Nocturnal Animals and played a linguist, Louise Banks, in Denis Villeneuve's Arrival. So Amy Adams. 7, I'd imagine you all got this, is the popular Jennifer Lawrence. She's the main character in The Hunger Games. Won the Oscar for her performance in Silver Linings Playbook. So Jennifer Lawrence. Viola Davis, she's a talent. She won the Oscar for her role as a supporting actress in Fences. You can see her in The Help and Steve McQueen's brilliant crime drama Widows. Meryl Streep, many of you mentioned. She's received the most Academy Award nominations, 21 in total, and she's won 3 Oscars. So Meryl Streep. And lastly, an actress we didn't mention. I think she's always good. She's always kind of the Meryl Streep of the new generation. Is Cate Blanchett, who won Oscars for The Aviator for playing Katharine Hepburn. She also won the Oscar in a lead performance in Woody Allen's Blue Jasmine. So the Australian actress Cate Blanchett is the final answer for tonight's final and 18th edition of the LA Cinema Quiz. Hannah Fountain, 10 out of 10. Well done. Emma Richards saying Mrs. America. How did you all fare? Bikey Chick, not bad, with a 6. How did everyone else do? Lucy Hawkins, a 9. It's another good score. Any more scores on the board? So Kieran Nicholson's already tallied us up. 45 grand total for this 18th week of the quiz. Mr. Baseheart, a 10 for this round. Gail, a 10 out of 10. A very good score. Well done. So how did you all get on with your final scores on the board? As Christopher Blackett says, a 7. Mr. Harlequin, sorry, a 10 out of 10, mostly down to Amanda, to be honest. And Bikey Chick score a 49. We've had a 45 and then 4 higher with a 49, as Andy Rao's got a 10 out of 10, out with a bang, indeed. Have a drink on me. 47, a good score. 52, a very good score. Lucy Hawkins happy with a 43. Gail Rogers, very good, a 53 and a half. Very good. Another good score. Any more before we finish up? The quiz has been brilliant. It was a comfort during the fearful early days of lockdown and a saviour from boredom during the later part. Thank you so much. No, thank you. Christopher Blackett at 52, another good score. Okay, so we'll wrap up in just a minute. We'll see if there's any more final scores and some final thoughts as I scroll my script up to the top of the page. It feels so bright in this room. Listen, good to okay, 33. It's not bad, and in fairness. The Western round, especially hard. 35 from Andy. Not his best. Yeah, so we had some good numbers taking part in tonight's quiz. Really good. Thanks a lot for taking part. It's flown by the 18 weeks. Surprised. Really surprised. It's gone by so quick. We decided, LA Cinema, that we were going to end the quiz. 18 weeks is quite a long time. I've enjoyed it immensely. I've never done anything on a YouTube channel ever in my life. I've done a bit of presenting. I did do a local TV show, so it was kind of not unnatural for me to do this, and I have enjoyed it. It's been a bit of a highlight for me on a Friday night. It's become routine. I do enjoy it. It's good fun. I enjoy the interaction with people, with you taking part. I've met some of the people with the quiz. I work with some of you as well, which has been good. I really appreciate your comments. Okay, so our thoughts are to maybe come back with a quiz maybe in the winter. So how would you feel if we came back with a regular quiz again in the winter months? hopefully, fingers crossed, there won't be another lockdown, but we don't know what's going to happen. Things, they say, are going back to normality, but it's not really normality at all as we know it. If so, if we did a quiz in the winter months, say October, November, what days would suit people best? For me, Friday's not always the best night. It's worked out good for this because I've not been working. Some comments coming in. So yeah, my experiences of the lockdown, I was just going to share with you. I didn't really want to thrust any opinion down your throats, but honestly, I've as selfish as it sounds, the lockdown for me has been a little bit of a salvation. It's been kind of a reset button that I felt I needed in my life. A couple of difficult years, losing some loved ones close to me. And I kind of like the fact that life has slowed down. I feel where I'm living, it always has been very much a community feel place. I feel I've got to know more people. I felt I've had more time on my hands to see my children grow up. I spent more time with my wife, the poor lady, and I've done things that I really didn't feel I was really capable of doing. That I didn't really feel I had the confidence of doing. So things I've been doing is I've been doing some sketching with my kids, not great sketches, but I didn't really feel I had the ability to draw characters. Doing this quiz regularly on a Friday, watching some films I've not had the chance to watch. But kind of the thing that amused me the most during the lockdown, you'll find this a little bit amusing, is I've always been into music. There's a lot of songwriters and performers I admire, and I decided to just write songs, take a topic for a song, a different genre, and I've written 15 songs. So my task now is I've got 15 songs laid down. I need to learn these on guitar. I need to write the music for them because I'm not particularly musical. And I basically record them on a dictaphone. I've been doing this for 18 weeks and sending them to friends of mine, some of which are musicians, for feedback. And I've really enjoyed it. I've written some country numbers and they're all sort of semi-autobiographical. I've written a song about my experiences of seeing Chuck Berry on stage. I've written ballads, all sorts. I've written a country number, which is amusing, about a man who can't please his wife because all she does is moan. That's the title, but I've written 15, which I'm quite happy about. So yeah, I just wanted to ask your experiences of the lockdown overall. Have you enjoyed it? I've also met some really nice people on here. There's a guy called Jack, who's a journalist who I'm meeting, works for the Times newspaper as a media and culture correspondent. I had a chat with a couple on the phone for a long time, Amanda and Richard, based in London. That was really nice. Appreciate that. Need a song about a Russian escort. Yeah, I might write a number. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's support over the 18 weeks. I hope you've enjoyed it. Before I go, what I'll do is I'll give you links to the LA Cinema Facebook page and Twitter page. So I'll update that on a regular basis. So that's the Facebook page. So all the updates are on that. So if we do return the quiz, it'll be announced on that page. And the Twitter feed is this one, which I don't update regularly. I'm kind of a bit bored of Twitter. It causes too much pain in people's lives, I think. So that's the Facebook one. And all the details will be on that. Appreciate all your support over the last few weeks. It means a lot to me. And most importantly, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's just been good fun, just to kind of see what people's knowledge is of film. Everybody loves cinema, so it's quite an easy one to do. So I'm going to sign off for the 18th week. Thanks a lot. We've covered so many topics over the last few weeks. And I wish you all the best, whatever you're doing. If you're going back to work, if you're looking for new careers, opportunities in your lives, I wish you all the best. Remember to stay safe and take care. Yeah, I'll keep writing the songs. That's my main task. Yeah, and like I say, I'm on Facebook, and you'll see me post. You're more than welcome to drop me a message. Feel free, and I appreciate your support over the last couple of weeks. Take care, enjoy your weekend, and thanks a lot for your support this evening. Greatly appreciated. Thank you kindly, and I'll clap a load this one. I'll have a glass of wine just for you all. Good night, and good luck to you all. Take care. See you at the cinema sometime. Stay safe. Good night.